friends, it's Gwen. Are you looking for a super cute project that will come together really fast? You're gonna love this one. What's even better is that this is a one-page wonder. So all you'll need is a single sheet of card or pattern paper. I've got so much to share, let's jump right on in. Here's a look at the supplies I'll be using. This is Pink Fresh Studios Let's Stay Home collection. To create the base for the mini album, I am working with a 12 by 12 sheet of pattern paper. I like to use pattern paper for this project because you get a print on both sides. I have trimmed off the branding strip and now I'm going to create some score lines. They are at 3 inches, 6 inches and 9 inches. If you don't have a large scoreboard, you can use your paper trimmer just like I'm doing here. So once you've done those first 3 score lines, you need to rotate your paper 45 degrees and repeat them. What you'll end up with is a bunch of boxes on the 12 by 12 pattern paper. So it's 4 boxes wide by 4 boxes across. You can't see it super well here on the pattern paper, so what I will do is I'll repeat this process on a sheet of cardstock. That'll make it a little bit easier for you to see. You'll now need to use your trimmer to actually cut along some of these scored lines. You'll need to make 3 cuts in total, just as I have done here. Once you have those cuts in place, it kind of makes a W shape. It will be clearer as we go along here because now we get to start folding. You're going to fold the first square, which is in the top left-hand corner, towards you, and then the second square will be folded away from you. The third square folded towards you, and then the fourth square folded away from you. So then you just continue to work your way along the squares until you get to the end. If you get mixed up as you go around the corners, just cross-check which way you folded the last square and do the opposite. So you're alternating towards you and then away from you. Take the time to be particular with your folding and burnish as you go. That is the foundation for the album, and you can take this in lots of different directions. I'm actually going to create a bunch of pockets for this album. I want lots of places where I can tuck tags and embellishments into. To create the pockets, I am just going to punch a half of a circle through either the top side of the album or the side of the album. And there is a bit of a pattern to this because we had that pattern of the folding. I've now got a bit of a pattern for my pockets. I am going to add all of the notches in the album now, and that will help me get less confused when I'm gluing things together. So obviously each square has 4 sides. One of those sides is actually a fold because that's what keeps the album together. The other side is a side that now has a notch in it, and then that leaves 2 sides that are still open. The goal here is to make a bunch of pockets, so we need to seal up those 2 side edges. I'm going to do this with a liquid adhesive. This one is my favorite. For the pockets that are opening at the top, you'll need to add glue down the left-hand side and the bottom edge. For the pockets that are opening on the side, you need to add the glue to the side and top edge. I think you'll find this much easier when you actually have the project in front of you. It's very obvious because one side is already joined, the other side already has that notch in it, and you know that's the side that you want to keep open. So there's only 2 sides left to glue. Don't be too heavy-handed with the glue. You don't need a lot, and you really want to have just a very thin line go very close to the edge of the pockets. If you use too much glue here, you will reduce the size of your pocket. Remember, we are going to create some really cute tags and elements that we can tuck into these. So I've just worked through the album from front to back, just making sure that the previous section has dried before moving on to the next. You'll then want to go back and sort of open up these pockets a little bit. You can do this with your fingers or a bone folder. Either way, it will help later on as we go to slide elements in and out of those pockets. Next up, I want to sort the closure and I'm going to use a ribbon for this. So it is going to tie around the center of the album and I do want it to stay attached. I have my T-square ruler here and I am just going to mark the exact center of the album and then I'm going to attach just a couple of pieces of double-sided tape. I'm then going to find the center of my ribbon and position it so that it wraps around 3 sides of the album. It's not quite done yet because I do want to secure it underneath another piece of cardstock. I did end up going with the same print that I already have happening there, and I do like the layered look, but you could totally switch it out and have a contrasting color. The album is 3 inches square, so I am going to cut these pieces a little bit short of that. I went with 1/4 inch shorter than 3 inches. What is that measurement? 2 3/4 inch, I think. I just saw the 3-inch mark on my trimmer and pulled the paper back 1/4 inch. Oh my gosh, is that right? Yes. Maths is hard, friends. I'm going to add those 2 pieces with some double-sided tape and look how lovely and clean that looks. I really like how that turned out. You can see the ribbon poking through on the spine of the book, which is a really sweet detail, and then of course they're flowing out the side so that you can tie it later. You saw a little flip through so that you can see exactly where we're up to, and now comes the really fun part. Now I'm going to create some inserts for these pockets. The sizes of these will vary a little bit from album to album, and it will largely depend on how much glue you used earlier when you were creating those pockets. I started with a piece of pattern paper that was slightly shorter than 3 inches and then tested it out. Once I found a format that worked well for my album, I then used that as a template to create the other inserts. It's totally up to you just how many inserts you want to add. I've gone with a mixture of more rectangular shaped ones and also some that are cut in the shapes of tags. You'll see those as we go along here. This is a great opportunity to use up all of those little bits of pattern paper that you have from a collection. This would be a great thing to do with what's left of a collection if you wanted to finally use up everything. And I really did have a lot of fun making this. There were a couple of pages within the album that I did want to change up. You can do that too just by adding a square of pattern paper over the top of what's there. You'll see that's what that yellow is on the left there. You can also see here the addition of those tags. So this one was actually pre-cut part of the ephemera pack, and then I just used that as a template to create some more. This is the part of the process that you can just let go and do whatever you like. If you have little elements and tabs that you'd like to use up, now's the perfect time. It's time to get working on the front cover of the album, and it's here that you can add in some texture and some layers. It isn't a very big space to work with, so I am going to keep things pretty simple. This collection had these really sweet little rainbows in it. This is a die cut, so I'm going to raise that up on some foam tape. And then while I was putting this sticker away, I changed my mind. I did find the puffy sticker version of the rainbow, so I'm going to layer that up on top of the die cut. It is very clean and simple. Of course, you could do whatever you like for your album. You could layer up a bunch of really pretty floral elements and add in a bunch of texture. I create a lot of really detailed projects, so it is really nice for me on occasion to take a step back and keep things really simple. Here's a look at the progress we've been making. I do want to add in an extra little element towards the end of the album there. And guess what? I've gone with the rainbow icon. I feel a bit bad. I've used 3 rainbows on this one little project, but you know what? It is going to give it a lovely little consistent look. And the rainbow says there are better days ahead. And I really like that sentiment. I'm going to add in some cute little photos, and I think it will be a really lovely gift. This mini album sure is cute, but I don't know if you should make it because it doesn't actually hold that many photos. If you wanted to create a larger album, one that had a few more details and would hold many more photos, you need to watch this video next. It is a trickier project, but don't worry, I walk you through the process step by step. Thanks for being here, my creative friends, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, bye!